Hey, Oscar, do you like to make love?
No, but I love to fuck hard. This is who I watch.
I wasn't expecting the hard. Really, I was like, oh, he should have improv that line. It seems much more visceral than I like to fuck is I like to fuck hard.
Didn't he say that?
Does he? Maybe it's not in the extended
No.
version.
Whoa, get rid of the fuck.
This is Who Would Watch This. Today on Who Would Watch This, we were reviewing the smutty classic that started the craze.
What craze was that, Carl?
The smut craze.
The smut craze? Before that, there was no smuts. Now we're just in a smutty era of smutty cinema. Cinema. That's a tongue twister.
We're leaning into it. People love our after episodes. We've gone more. Let's give the audience more.
Is this... Because this is pretty... I don't know whether it's if After's stolen from this or just all the same.
Oh, they've definitely stolen.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But yes.
Okay, Carl, so this is what we thought about it last week.
Not in cinemas, but when it came out on DVD.
You bought it?
I didn't buy it, but I rented it. Me and my roommate rented it. So from memory, who do I think this is for? Not for me. God, it's for people that want to watch. If I remember, there's mainly just nipples in the film and nothing else. Nothing for anybody else. Only nipples. Which is, I think, weird because I think the reader base is mostly women and they only give female nudity. There's nothing in there for the women to enjoy.
There's no...
So, I guess lesbian women. Oscar, you?
Well, going off what I know, I have never seen these before. I'm feeling like horny Midwestern mums. And that seems to be it. People who wanted to watch it. Maybe what you're saying now is maybe that wasn't what they got, but that's the target audience, I think, for this.
And if I recall from when the movie was coming up, people were disappointed that he didn't drink her tampon or something.
Is that in the book?
I think that's in the book.
Oh my god.
So that's not for fans of that bit of the book.
So if you're into drinking tampons, then...
This is not for you.
Okay.
They've gone, nope, that's a step too far, Christian Grey. Alright, let's see what we really thought. It currently has a 4.2 on IMDb, a 1.8 on Letterboxd, and a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oscar, have you got a cute little plot for us?
I can give you a cute little plot. Okay.
Give me a run through.
It's set in Washington. You there? Anna is an...
Is it?
Yes, but they keep going to Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Dumb, right? That's what...
Definitely thought it was all set in Seattle.
Yeah, no.
We can talk... Oh, very confusing premise we'll talk about.
All
Why does he
right.
have an... Okay, you keep going.
You're getting ahead of yourself. All right, so Anna is like a young sort of book lover. You know, she works at a hardware store. She goes to college. Her roommate...
She's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, she is a nerd. She's quite, she's quite solemn. So her roommate, who's out there, is like doing an interview with Mr. Grey. Mr. Grey's a very billionaire. We don't know what he makes his money in, but he makes his money. Lots of money. She goes to have an interview with him. Things get kind of crazy. And that's it. And it's just them. Oh, it is just him trying to get her to sign a contract to become his submissive. It's 2 hours. We're going to go in thorough detail of the plot and none of the sex. Stick around.
Do we spoil how it ends or not?
Oh, we're just so you guys know, we're covering all 3 of these. So
yeah, we're doing episode after episode after episode.
Yeah, so we can spoil how it ends. It ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, doesn't it?
I guess so. It's what makes the movie so unfulfilling in a sense is there's no closure.
There's no closure. It ends... Well, like, he goes a bit too far.
Only after she's like, can you go far?
Yeah, and then...
Well, I guess we should get there. We'll
get there, we'll get there. Let's just jump.
Let's jump right into it. Opening credits. Rita Ora's in this?
Wild. I didn't realise it until the second one, and then she must have asked for a much bigger role.
I think she asked to have her natural hair colour.
Yeah.
Right?
Because she had like a
She's black.
She got a black
Is she doing
bob in
a French accent in this first one?
I thought she was, yes.
I was like, I don't know who you are or what you're saying. And I was like, is that meant to be Rita Ora? And I went down the trail of watching YouTube videos. And the director was like, oh, when we were casting that juicy role. I was, juicy role? And she was like, Rita Ora came in with an energy. And I was like, an energy? For this role? She doesn't fucking do anything. She walks downstairs at once, and they kept showing how they filmed the part that she gives Anastasia a hug. And I'm like, that's the role. Don't try and make this out.
We know, okay, what's an Mia?
Sure.
Just so you guys know, we just talked about it. She's not in this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Rita Ora.
Don't watch this for Rita Ora. I also think it's rude because I'm pretty sure they don't give Rita Ora any music till the third one.
No, the second one. She's in the second one. But yeah, no, she has not got any music. And because I read something that the producer's like, hey, you guys got a lot of music in this. You mind if I get a song? They're like... No.
We'll be talking about this a lot because the movie's famous for its music.
Yeah.
Like, Grammy nominated. I think it maybe won Best Soundtrack.
It got nominated for an Oscar.
It got nominated for an Oscar. It has terrific music.
Yeah.
This was, the year this came out, and I hadn't seen the film, the most played album on my phone.
Hilarious, really.
Was this.
I mean, fair enough. Concept, that's a bit of a bop.
They're all a bit of a bop. All of them. And I remember watching the movie that first time and going, oh, the dialogue is spoiling this music in the background.
It is really upsetting.
I was like, how dare they talk over Ellie Goulding's Love Me Like You Do? How dare they? The Weeknd is singing. Shut up! Shut up!
I mean, they do... Which song do they give, like, a dedicated helicopter montage to? Is it Ellie Goulding?
Yeah, that's the Ellie Goulding bit.
I mean, like...
Like, the whole song is, like, helicopter.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll get out of the credits. But first off the bat, because it starts with, like, introducing them both or whatever, it's quite nicely shot.
It is. I think the cinematographer, pretty good.
Yeah.
You know?
I think also...
I think the problem with this movie is that because it's such a shit premise, they've tried to, like, the director's very accomplished. She's tried to, like, fix up everything. The cinematography's, like, very pretty and everything. The issue is just that it's a shit premise.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. The only person I think could do something with it is, like, Darren Aronofsky would make this fucking dark.
Yeah.
And, like, gross.
Yeah.
The thing is that the premise is inherently gross because of Christian Grey.
Yeah.
But then they're also like, but he's got a heart of gold. And I'm like, I don't know. He's submitted 15 women. Not great.
No, it's
like
we jump ahead. It's all random, but they talk about like, hey, so you donated to those African children for starve? He's like, yeah. Want to elaborate on that? No. I'm mysterious like that, but I care. It's just like, what? What even is
I'm also constant. They keep changing the name of his business. It's like Grey Enterprises. Next, he's at another place. It's Grey House. And I'm like...
He owns everything. That's the thing.
Well, he owns all the house.
Everything.
I'm convinced it's just the studio that produced House MD. He's like, it's just him and Hugh Laurie shooting the shit.
We got the free sign. Just, fuck it. We're going to do it.
Anyway, so... I think off the bat, I assume this is an issue that both of us probably have with the movie straight away. Where Anastasia Steele parks makes no sense. That car park, there's like, you put 3 in a row. How does the middle reverse out? How does the middle get out of the car park?
What are you talking about? Is this in your... So just
this is in the credits, or in the opening credits.
Carl, now, here's the issue. I've seen the standard theatrical cut. And Carl's seen the extended cut, so I think there's going to be little bits
I've seen
here.
8 minutes more than Oscar.
And every scene that I don't know what he's talking about, I assume is in the extended cut. The car park scene is not in this start.
She has to get her car out, and it's her car, a car behind her, a car in front of her, and they're just like, she gets the car out. Who does a car park like that?
Are you talking about a parallel park?
No, like it's 3 rows. Like, they do it at football games.
Oh, right.
But you if you're in the middle, you've got to wait for either the person to... The
leave.
one in front or the one behind you to leave. Remember Falls?
I do remember Falls.
It's like how at Falls the parking was,
Yeah.
but every row was that close
Ah.
together.
So anyway, Dakota Johnson is a nerd.
Oh, she's a big old verge is what
She's a
she
big,
is.
fat verge, but she has a 4.0 GPA.
Yeah.
And she's very nervous.
She's very nervous. Her roommate who's supposed to be doing the interview seems not sick at all. She's like, I've got a little sniffle. I got a little sniffle. Can you go in and talk to Christian Grey for me?
Pretty please. And
Works out for her. She gets the good brother.
Oh yeah, she lucks out. Anyway, so Kate, her roommate, is sick. She has to go. Here's all my interview questions. Go talk to Mr. Grey. Anna is so comically weak at the start of this movie.
She's hilarious. Here's the other thing that I'll say before we shit all over this film.
Yeah.
The two actors I don't think can be faulted.
No.
I think they're doing their best with what is some of the worst dialogue and, like, plot beats there are.
Oh,
like,
100%.
literally awful. We know both of them are good actors. I've seen them in lots of other things, and they're constantly good.
There's bits in this that I think they almost escape. They have these little looks that they both go, we know this is shit. Here's a little funny moment. They're trying to escape it, and I feel really sorry. And
There are bits where they try to make kind of fun of the premise a little bit. That goes out the door.
No, exactly.
But, like, they've got bits. There's also part where she, like, cries when she's getting, like, horribly beaten by him. That I was like, she is good. Because remember, she's fucking nude, having to cry and pretend this is a serious scene.
With a bunch of other people around, and the writer of the book going, nah, she was more horny in this one. Go on, make it hornier. I've made her Harvey Weinstein. She's not Harvey Weinstein. But she had a lot of control.
Yeah.
E.L. What's her name?
Yeah, E.L. James.
A.L. James.
Yeah.
She had a lot of control for this, didn't she?
Yeah, didn't she have final say over the
final
director
say,
or something like that? Ridiculous.
And then she gets more and more as the...
I think we've learned don't do this.
No. I think you're too close to your art.
Yeah.
That when it comes to a movie, you're going to be wanting to make, like...
J.K. Rowling can't make a good film.
No.
E.L. James can't do it. And I can only assume Stephanie Meyer can't.
Did she have much say in this? I thought she kind of stepped away from it.
Who?
Stephanie Meyer. I thought she wasn't that involved in the Twilight series.
Oh, maybe she wasn't. Good on her.
Good on her.
Yeah.
And those turn out great.
We'll be getting to those.
We're getting to those. I'm keen.
So, should we deconstruct the name Anastasia Steele?
Yeah.
Awful fucking name, right?
It's something you'd call someone who's really powerful and like it's strange. Like it's like a 5-year-old's idea of a powerful name, but I don't. Why is she called this? Why is she called this? Carl?
Miss Steele. Every time they said it, I cackled. Excuse me, Miss Steele. No, absolutely not. Don't do that. I think all of the names in this, they're all basic. They're all about a syllable away from a porn name.
They are. They're pretty much porn names.
They're like,
but again, this is porn.
They're like, hey, what's your name? And they're like, my name's Vagina Cunt. Like,
not even on the. Not even on, my name's fingermeasshole.com.
Mine's Fistomy Timbers.
That's good. Write that down.
So she gets in for this interview. She's forgotten her pencil.
Yes. She also trips.
Right. She fucking face on what? What does she trip on?
She doesn't trip on anything.
I mean, this is one of the nicest officers I've ever seen. There's no way that there's anything to trip on.
There's no perfections. The floor is sanded down. It's been perfectly leveled. There's no way you're tripping. I think, is this literally just to show she's a
klutz?
Yeah, klutz or weak or just... I don't know.
Imagine that as a character trait. She falls down a lot.
She's bad.
Wouldn't Christian Grey look at her and be like, this is a flat floor? How do you expect me to ever like you if you trip on a flat floor?
He chews her out, you moron.
Get out.
You're a klutz. You want to be my submissive. She's like, what are you talking about?
Do you see the standard of all the women that work here? None of them have ever tripped. None of them. It hasn't even got tiles. There's not even grooves. It's a flat cement floor.
It's polished concrete. You're a moron.
Oh my, get out. Get out.
And let me take your questions. Here's a pencil.
I'll do this. You probably won't even be... I bet you parked at one of those fucking dumb car parks, didn't you? Where you have to wait for the person in front to leave.
How'd you get in the middle there? How'd you even park there? Did you wait for someone about to park and then you slot yourself in, then you get in? Silly. Ugh.
Alright, so she's a student. Don't believe that.
No.
This is easily the most boring interview ever.
It is so, like, how dare Kate, her roommate, write these questions and then with, like, full confidence go, hey, go read this to essentially a billionaire. Go nuts. One of the questions is, you haven't seen you with many women. Are you gay?
And the movie would have been a hell of a lot shorter had he said yes.
Yeah. She goes back home. She gives the answer to Kate. She gets on with her life.
Yeah. That's it. She probably ends up with the nice artist.
Well, he's not a nice artist if you're talking about him.
Oh, no. His art's nice.
Oh, yeah.
He himself, not a nice
person.
guy. But the most of these questions are like, some people say you don't have a heart. What do you fucking expect him to say to that? Imagine if somebody, you're a billionaire, like an 18-year-old fresh out of uni, trips, has forgotten a pencil, isn't the person supposed to be doing the interview, and she's like, hey, so some say you don't have a heart. Fucking get out of here. The audacity.
But you also have no power to say that. You're in his office just tripping and just like...
How did you
So I think I've been told you don't have a soul?
Some say you're the devil. Thoughts? Oh my god. I could not get over the fact he has like 9 pencils. Is he invested in the pencil industry?
I don't know which business person would not use a pen. I feel like a pen is a very sophisticated. A pencil, unless you're an architect.
Here's the I don't think you'd be a billionaire, because if you're using a pencil, I get the concept you make mistakes.
And Christian Grey does not make mistakes. Carl, we talked a lot about awful toxic men on this podcast.
Is he ripe for an Ussie?
I mean...
Not an Ussie, what's our thing? A woot?
A woot, come on. We just did it last week. Wink. Alright, so where do we think he scales on this? Because I think he's... like, he's too abusive. Like, he's an abusive person. But I think that's the point of the film. So it's very strange to have him in this.
He's not... Like, I don't think he's as bad as Harden or Jack Frost.
Yeah. Because they're not meant to be...
Is he better than Unhinged?
No. I don't think he is.
He gives her a lot of treats.
He does. That's lucky.
So...
Probably the best male we've...
The thing is, though, like, they have, like, a contract. So she does, like, submit to this abuse.
No, because the whole plot of this film...
Oh, yeah, she never signs it.
She never signs it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess he is horrible.
We really don't have much to talk about, because the film, this first one at least, is very bland.
Yeah, it is.
There's not much sex, so that's out the window. And the whole plot, after this point, it's just sort of them dancing about, her trying to get this contract signed.
Yeah. This whole concept of, like, why couldn't she just be the person that is supposed to give the interview? Like, isn't it so, like, amateur?
Was she... What's Kate? Is she at uni? Is she in the same... No, she's in the same class as her, of course.
Yeah.
There's no reason. I don't know why she would...
It's not like Kate is such a fleshed out character in this that you're like, well, we need to have this to establish Kate. Kate gets sick a lot throughout the series.
Honestly, the second they introduce Kate, they then immediately get rid of Kate by hitching her up with Christian's much nicer, much more attractive, a lot less unhinged brother.
Just as rich.
Dakota picked wrong.
Yep, she did. There's like there's a whole other world of this where Kate went and Dakota Johnson gets the good brother. That's what I want to see.
That's way better.
Give her a happy relationship.
She deserves this.
Their uni place is so big. For 2 people, it's fucking huge.
Is that a uni accommodation?
Well, it's just where they're living, and I don't know how they afford it.
I don't know.
She works at a hardware store.
Part-time.
What is Kate just is sick constantly in the background.
She's constantly
She doesn't
sick.
have a job, from what I can tell.
Well, like, because she It's implied she's poor. Do you get that vibe? I don't think it is. I don't think she is, but it's implied she's poor. So
there's constantly throughout the movie. There's just so much shit you can cut.
So much shit.
You could cut both of her parents and her graduating uni, and nothing would change. In my opinion, that's 25 minutes gone.
You can get rid of Kate immediately off the bat. But then I guess if she's pursuing Christian, is that what they don't want her to do? They kind of want her to stumble.
Why hasn't she heard of Christian Grey? Or has she?
She's always got her nose in a book, hasn't she? She has always got her nose in her non-fiction.
Anyway, so Christian... sorry, there is a part where she's sucking on the pencil that he gave her.
Yeah.
And I was, like, expecting her to, like, accidentally breathe in and suck it down and just choke on it. So he, like, I guess stalks her to...
Yeah, he stalks her.
To, like, the hardware store.
Yeah. So she's working at a hardware store. He goes up to her and goes, "Hey, you got any rope?" And she's like, "Yeah, aisle 3. Got any cable ties?" Like, "Oh, aisle 12. And it's like, "Hey, you got any nails to nail you to a cross?" She's like,
Yeah.
aisle 5.
Aisle 5, and he's like, "Great, I'm off to the Capitol building."
This is a strange interaction, because she then says, he's like trying to get to know her in the creepiest way possible. Like, "What do you do in your free time?" And she's like, "Ugh, I don't like organized group activities." Have you ever heard anyone describe any group activity as organized group activities? Because I haven't.
No, I haven't. Only except for when we organize
group activities. They are quite fun.
Yeah, they are.
Except we can never get our friend who's always reading a book. Ugh, she's never involved. Yeah, so then Christian's like buying his shit. And how jealous is Christian, Carl?
Oh, he's so jealous of this guy named Paul who offers to bag her items. She should have ended up with Paul. Paul seems nice. Yes. Also, she's already bagged the items. So it's such a hollow offer.
And then he was like, I think, did he grab her hand like, "We're going to coffee"?
Yeah, it's like, "Meet me." Or she's like, "I'm getting pictures taken." Oh, yes, no, we can talk about the whole issue that I'm very confused by for this film. So he's based in Seattle, but he's renting a hotel in Washington where she lives.
Yes.
So what was the office that she went to? Because that looked like the main office.
Here's my thing, and like, screw this film. He's just so rich. He has offices and rooms and shit all over the country wherever it's convenient. He just buys shit just because he can, and like, that's lazy. It's lazy. Like, have him have like a central location. You are right, because it looks like a great office.
Why couldn't it all just be set in Seattle?
Because also, yeah, exactly.
Washington pay to be filmed there? Like,
no, I reckon the book.
Write-off?
I think it was just the book.
Well, because it's a rip-off. It's based on Twilight,
It
right?
is based on Twilight. I think it started as fan fiction for Twilight.
Yeah.
And then I think her husband was like, "Don't do that." He would read over the whole stuff. He'd be like, "No, make it so it's individual characters." So she pretty much just copy and pasted them, gave them new names, started rewriting it, and it became this.
Yeah. So it's like, are hers set in Forks?
Well, the great
the wettest like place in America. Because that's where Twilight's set.
Isn't it set in... Oh, wait, is it actually set in, like, near Ozarks? Sort of? Oh my god, is it actually? I thought it was set in, like, near Canada.
No, it's set in, I think she looked it up, it's like the wettest, coldest, and darkest place in America.
That's deep.
Because that's...
just like...
where vampires can live. The whole point is that they don't have sun.
Yeah.
Have I read all the Twilights? Yes.
Have you read all of them?
Yeah, I've read them all.
Are they okay?
No.
How do they compare to the films? Because I feel like these books, people were pretty angry, one, at the book, and then two, that the book wasn't adapted as well as it could be. Except that
Could it? Could this have been adapted? I remember one of the girls in my year in high school was reading these. And she would occasionally show me where she was like, because at my high school we had a thing called Drop Everything and Read.
Yep.
After lunch, you had a 30-minute period between your last 2 periods of the day where you essentially sat in nice air conditioning and read.
Yeah, it was nice.
And it was delightful. And she would occasionally be like, "This page made me laugh out loud in Drop Everything and Read. Look at it." And I would read it, and I would be like, "Oh my god, what is this?" Like, I don't think you could adapt it well. Unless you fundamentally changed everything.
But also, like, they didn't... I think the studio said they didn't want to make it an R-rated film unless it
Ridiculous!
cost
It's fucking smart!
It's porn, just commit to it. But they were like, we don't want to make it unless it costs less than $50 million.
Yeah.
And when it costs, I think, almost 100, they were like, nah, it's going to make it... We're trying to aim for PG-13, which feels wrong.
Well, the movie's MA in Australia, right?
Which is,
and it's a 40 million budget?
No, they wanted it. It's a bit higher. Oh, yes.
I know they get higher as they go along, but I think this one's 40.
I think so, yeah.
And it's also, when it came out, the highest grossing film directed by a woman.
Yeah. Which feels a bit back-ended, but, you know, good
Don't
on
worry,
them.
Wonder Woman comes along a few years later, and Patty Jenkins puts that to rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other huge... Okay, so she also just randomly gets some first edition novels.
Yes, from Mr. Grey.
Grey.
He keeps giving her presents.
Is that not the shittest fucking gift?
What do you mean?
She would already own... Like,
yeah, but it's like a collectible thing.
No,
like
I don't... Well, no, I don't see the point.
You got given, like, the Whiplash thing. You've seen the movie. Why would you want that?
Sorry, because Damien Chazelle signed it.
Yeah, but with the first edition people, she put a little stamp on it, maybe.
Well, there's a fucking stamp. If Damien Chazelle had stamped my Whiplash screenplay, I wouldn't fucking want it. He had handwritten a thing for me.
Did he actually?
No, just signed it.
But for me.
But for me. He didn't realize it was going to go to me, but it has. Alright, I retract my statement.
Good, yeah, it's a great present. He's a very nice man.
She doesn't seem to like them, though.
No, she's like, oh, I can't accept these. I'm poor with my lovely apartment. And do you think she drives a BMW, a Volkswagen Beetle? I feel like those are pretty...
Pricey, right?
Pretty pricey, yeah.
Well, the other huge issue I have so I watched this over 3 sittings.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize until I was looking back over my notes this morning that I've written the same note 3 times. So I was clearly shocked by it every time.
Yeah.
But on 3 separate occasions, I've written, she has a flip phone.
What the hell
Constantly.
was that? What the hell was that? She's poor. It's 2015. That's an issue. That's a big issue. I don't care. She has a home. Like, is it just like she doesn't like smartphones?
I don't know what it is. You know what's even more bizarre to me? Is they're constantly using Apple computers.
Yeah, she has a...
So why couldn't Apple have given her a phone?
I don't know. It's such a strange mix of technology, because then he's using, like, a BlackBerry. But, like, in 2015, I think if you're the as such a business person, I don't think you're using a BlackBerry.
Like, the sheer kind of, like, contrast, the fact that she opened up a flip phone and went to the personal number of a billionaire on it, floored me. Floored me as a creative decision.
Does he buy her a phone? I think she just... No.
I also hate that he keeps calling her Anastasia.
Yeah, really... how far are we in? We're about half an hour in. Yet to be any porn, which is...
it feels like we're an hour in.
It does feel long.
Probably half an hour.
Because it's exposition for something you just don't care about.
Yeah.
It is... You're here for the smut. I assumed everyone was here for the smut. And there's just none of it. So now... we're almost at the smut.
There's none of it. There's constant lines where it's like... You're gonna go to my tailor. And it's like, yeah, okay. And they're like, well, no, so this is Taylor. Taylor's my driver.
Yeah.
Who's the fucking Taylor then? What's the Taylor called? Driver?
Did you write that down?
I did. I tickled my fancy.
What do we think of Taylor? Because I absolutely cringe at, like, all his staff. Because he has so many staff around the whole area.
But also none.
He has, yes, he has none.
He should have a person, after they fuck for the first time, she's cooking. Why is she cooking? There should be a personal chef there.
Well, I'm glad there isn't, because then, like, he's so obvious. Like, when, like, in the rest of the film, he's got, like, servants and, like, people, like... they have this scene that there's, like, they go to sign the contract, and it's pretty much a sex contract. And all the people are just standing outdoors just going, he's doing the sex contract thing again, isn't he? And it's just such an awkward...
They're rolling sushi and pouring wine and
Yeah.
being like, oh, this poor woman's going to be ruined.
God damn it. Hope you got an Apple phone. Oh, no.
Anyway, so she's drunk and she goes back to his hotel. And
Well, why did she get drunk?
just to celebrate, isn't
Celebrate, yes. To celebrate her graduating college?
she? Yeah, well, I think she does her final exam.
Yes. So Kate and I go out for a bit of a drink.
Yeah.
Who's there as well?
I want to say Pablo.
Oh, you're racist, Jose. But I spelled it George. So I think we're all on the same page.
We're all wrong here. He
What?
makes a move
Yeah.
on her after she's been like, hey, I don't like you. Do you like me? And Christian's like, you've had a drink somewhere. What?
He is, I assume, in Washington somewhere. She's also in Washington somewhere. He calls her, says, I'm coming to get you.
Ugh.
Jose's like, give me a kiss. He somehow, from sitting down in his pajamas, I assume just jumps out the window, gets changed midair, drops down on the bar, and then punches Jose in the face.
Comes out of he might as well have pushed him in front of a car. Like, the other thing that I don't get is I feel like because Christian Grey is so high profile,
Yeah.
so rich, he doesn't realize that lower classes celebrate anything with alcohol. I've done a 9 to 5 and I didn't fucking kill myself.
I'm gonna have a
Where's the
drink.
bourbon?
Yeah, it's very strange. He's very controlling.
Yeah.
Normally in other films that'd be an issue, but I guess that's the whole point of this one. But it does seem strange that she's not able to drink. Does he drink at all?
Yes. He asks for a gin and tonic.
He does.
Hendrix or Sapphire.
Hendrix with a cucumber,
Sapphire with a lemon.
And I think, no fucking way, I've ordered that. He's a billionaire. Be better, I think.
So after she like wakes up in the morning
Yeah.
and there's letters being like, drink this, eat this. He walks in, I think without a shirt.
Yeah.
Or maybe he takes off his shirt. His shirt is lost somewhere along the
He's
line.
sort of walking in and then just takes it off.
I thought this was a small hotel room considering how rich he was.
His wealth is just like all over the place.
Here's the thing, you can't make somebody look like a billionaire with a $40 million budget.
No, you can't.
Here's the thing, one of my favorite things in the television show Succession is a lot of the money goes to making them look like a rich fucking family. Every episode is shot in a bizarre, intricate, and rich-looking location. They never repeat where an episode is set, and it makes it feel so rich and so worldly. Like, they spend the money to make that family look fucking rich.
Whereas in this, a lot of $200 hotel rooms.
Well, I think they constantly went, how do we prove he's rich? Different escapades of flight. A helicopter. What was the other one?
I think a glider.
How does it land? I don't know. How does
know.
it work? I thought it was a toy aeroplane because there was string, and I went, the fuck is this? And then I was like, oh no, the strings are part of it. But, oh god. Anyway, so she wakes up, she's like, where are my clothes? And he's like, you threw up all over yourself, you fucking mess.
Dirty slut.
Taylor had to lick off every drop.
I didn't even ask him to. He's just that good of a boy.
He's like, wait, no, your driver did that. And he's like, no.
My tailor
My
did that.
tailor did that.
Named
Named
driver.
driver. A great bit.
Colon baby.
So then he's like, God, I want to bite your lip off. And she's like, we didn't fuck, did we? And he's like, if we did, you wouldn't be able to sit for a week. I was like, what is happening?
Some of the lines, because I don't think there's enough sex to excuse the awful writing.
No.
If it was an hour of sex, go nuts. We can't critique it. It is what it is.
Oh, it is. There's some terrific lines like, I'm about to show you my game room. What, is your Xbox in there?
Hilarious. I think I
Genuinely funny bit.
I thought it was pretty funny.
The other line that I thought was like a genuinely funny line that I think they were clearly making fun of, or maybe it's in the book, I don't know. But she's like, okay, let's get rid of vaginal fisting, and we'll get rid of anal too. Scratch that one out.
It's funny. Oh.
So anyway, they start to fuck in an elevator. Seconds later, 9 men walk in, and they're like, "Hey,
God.
don't stop on account of us."
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
He goes to tie his shoe, and then he goes up and just starts fingering her. And I just imagine the smell of that elevator must have been so obvious.
It's the beginning of every fucking gangbang porno. All right, is 2 people in an elevator and 9 men walking in, being like, "Oh,
A gangbang.
I'll hit the emergency stop.
Let me call the fire department and tell them it's just a gangbang.
I'll call the fire department and tell them it's hot in here."
No, there is no fire, though. We are going to have sexual intercourse. Yeah, the smell of that elevator, I think someone would have turned around. I think the noises would have made something.
I think if you could have picked it, I think it would have been one of the 3 men on the right, and they would have gone, "Really?"
It's just rude. I don't think... If you walked in on that...
I think they not only walked in, not only would it have smelled, I bet there was just fucking water all over the floor.
Christian got a hard on his pants. Bit
You
leaking
can't... They start to really go at it. You can't decrease that in a second.
No.
Can you?
What?
The energy that they had.
Oh, yeah, they have so much energy. It's like, and then just a bunch of people walk in, they're like...
Here's the thing.
Still.
Even if they were, I don't know, they're on the 50th floor.
Yeah.
They've got to go from 50 to 1. Considering more people will probably get in the elevator, they've gotten each other so worked up. They should be standing at the back of the elevator going,
So they get out the elevator. And
they go to hop in a car, but it's parked ridiculously,
you
so
wouldn't
they
even
can't
believe
get
it. You're
out.
trying to get out. Oh, it's so annoying.
Oh god, they have like a big helicopter ride, which I hate because I never want to go in a helicopter.
Why not?
So I think they're inherently dangerous. I've literally seen so many helicopters flying around in strong winds, and they're like, so many people constantly die in helicopter crashes. They seem the least safe way of transport. I hate it.
Is a car not more dangerous? Oh, I won't disagree with you. But
well, isn't it? So a car's more dangerous because of the
Everyone
fact that
does
there's
it.
more cars,
Yeah.
right? Whereas I think the helicopter rate, it's not like there's as many helicopters as there are cars, but I think I constantly hear about helicopter crashes. Rich people constantly thinking they can fly a helicopter, and God going, no.
Nope, you
Nope.
don't get to. I'm sorry. What if I was to tell you that Love Me Like You Do was playing while you were in the helicopter?
Oh, I get in a heartbeat. As long as he very sensually buckled me in.
Oh, it's tasteful.
This is a... Oh, click. Click. And we got another one. Oh, click.
This is
And we'll bring another one down. Just... Oh, click. Click. Oh, and is there a 5th one for some reason? Yep. And there's just that one. Click. So if there is a crash, you will go down.
But your body will be in your remain.
And I'm just going to tie these bricks to your feet. And click. And we'll do the right foot. And click.
This ASMR is lovely. So we're 40 minutes into the film.
Oh, God.
I'm not saying I want this, but I imagine people must have been a bit... I'm sure the book starts off a lot more horny.
I would assume.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think with this song they try to romanticize how pretty of a city Seattle is, and I don't buy it.
I don't agree.
I don't buy
I think
that Seattle's
Seattle-
a nice city.
All I know about it is that it's where they film Meredith Grey. 50... Is this... Oh my word.
The best of all the Greys, Meredith Grey.
And Christian.
Alan Pomerello, get her in here.
Yeah, Seattle's not... I mean, we can say it. I don't think it's that nice. That
Yeah.
Center Point Tower shit...
And I think we can both say this because we're both have never been.
Yeah.
So we have a right.
We have a right to say...
Because we know our listeners are shit-talking Sydney, Australia.
Oh, of course.
And you can fucking shove it up your ass.
Fuck Seattle. We're saying it right now.
We're saying it right now.
Unless we get a single listener in Seattle and we will flip.
Oh, we'll flip and a half. I'll do your weather immediately. The other thing is we also had an American person listen to the podcast and they thought that our take on roundabouts was not accurate, I think.
No, accurate.
Oh, well then we do have a right to
I
mock
think
you,
we do it
America.
right. Yeah, they're insane.
Anyway, Christian Grey's like, remember, you can't talk to us about anyone. And she's like, I would never talk to anyone about us anyway. And I'm like, what a dig. You're a billionaire, and you're like, submissive is like, I would never brag about this.
This wouldn't come up in conversation.
Hey, God, been a week since I've seen all of you. Anyone fucking a billionaire? And she's like, oh no.
Well, it came up casually.
It's come up organically. Anyway, so they go and have a look at the weapons. It's a nice room.
It's a lovely room.
It's a really nice. Like, taking away the weapons. Love the red. Love the velvet.
Nice cinema in there.
It's well lit. It's
Apparently-
quite well lit.
It's such a lovely looking. It's like a perfume ad. I think it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
If the ending of the movie, instead of coming up saying it was 50 Shades of Grey, if it came up just going, Dior,
I'd be like,
I'd buy it.
I'd buy it.
I'd buy it in a heartbeat. I do like the fact that he's walking around this room and she's like looking at everything and he's like, so that's a flogger, that's a vaginal clamp, that is a whip, that's a dildo, that's a double-ended dildo, so we both get a little bit of fun. Just pointing them all out. And I'm like, I don't think she needs to know these things. Well, you are frightening her.
She's pretty upset. I'm pretty happy. The props, get this, all the sex toys they bought for the film didn't fit the colour aesthetic, so they just made them. That's quite nice. I like the attention to detail for that.
Fair enough. They must have been like, hey, we're getting 3 movies worth out of this.
Yeah, fuck it.
The other thing that I'll say about his home is I thought the railings looked cheap.
That was the extended cut. I didn't get the railing bit. If I saw the railings, I'd be hit.
I saw a little bit of the railings that I went, I think they were inserted to, like, actually hook a camera to. And they thought people wouldn't notice. But I noticed, because that railing was so sturdy and didn't suit any aesthetic whatsoever. And they thought, hey, it's only in one shot. Will anyone fucking notice? Me, I did.
Carl fucking noticed.
Anyway, so we get to the first scene of Smut after she's like, well, I am a virgin.
Yeah.
And he's like, where the fuck have you been my whole life? And I'm like, you're a creep.
You're a creep.
You're a creep.
First red flag.
Yep.
First red flag.
There's probably been a few up until now.
No, name 10.
Everything he got at the hardware store.
And then she said, are you a serial killer? He said, not today. You can't brush that off.
So in the song, we get some nip. We get a little bit of chest hair. We get a little bit of his butt.
Some toe curling.
We get some toe curling. And because both of the actors aren't moaning, all of the moaning is done by Sia in her song that plays over the top. She's like, oh, Sia.
It then ends on a roof mirror shot.
So I did look up because I was like, what are these extra 8 fucking minutes in this film?
Yeah.
There's 2 shots in this scene.
Yeah.
I get a little bit more nip and I get an extra thrust before they turn to the top.
Wild.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, it made all the difference in me still hating this film.
So there's 5 minutes of that.
Yeah.
He then goes to play the piano nude.
Have you ever, after you've had a good cum, gone and been like, I'm gonna express myself on an instrument now?
I'm not even joking, Carl. If I had this mansion and a piano, of course I would. What are you talking about?
Absolutely not.
You're an idiot.
Not once have I ever fucked and gone like, I've got energy.
I could. You know what I need to do right now? Play the trumpet.
You know what I need to do right now? Fucking crack out the accordion. The least attractive of all the instruments.
Weird Al is right here, you bigot. That man's got sexual prowess that you wish you could have.
God, absolutely ridiculous. And she comes out nude or whatever.
He's like, I'm just playing some Beethoven. She's like, oh, I actually quite like this. Back on the dick. And then round 2, let's go.
I thought they were going to fuck on the piano chair and I was like, don't do it.
I wouldn't like that. It's very small and a bit.
If I was going to do a top 10 list of the most uncomfortable places to fuck, a piano chair would probably be in the top 50. So not in the top 10, but it would be close.
It's down there. I thought
probably
on top of
worse.
the piano, actually.
I think like on top of 9 hedgehogs is a bad one.
Yeah, and then you gotta...
On
Wash
Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the
Hedgehog? Man,
Sonic
if I was gonna fuck anyone, I'd be hodge-hogging that hog.
Oh god. Anyway, so she starts dancing in the kitchen after the morning.
Yeah, they're making some...
I thought this was the biggest red flag. She's drinking a coffee. He fucking rips it out of her hand, starts licking her fingers, and is like, "You're filthy." How dare you?
Hated it.
Oh, God. Anyway, so his mum comes in.
Oh, this is the worst. No, aren't they fucking when this happens?
Oh, yeah. They're about to fuck.
And they're about to climax, and then... He's like, "Mummy's here." It's like,
I've got to go see my mama. Oh, yeah. So another thing is he's adopted. Throw that out there. So I love this actress.
Yeah, I really like her. What's she in? She's in
like lots of things. I want to say it's like Marcia something. I just like her in most things that I see her in. I think she's quite a good actress.
She's quite a good actress.
And I mean, she doesn't get like a lot to do here.
If it's a paycheck, I'm happy. Some actors are like...
Marcia Gray Hard. Yeah, she's in Mystic River, which I love her in, Into the Wild, and she's the villain in The Mist. Anyway, so she's basically like, I wanted to have lunch, but you're busy, so she fucks off for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
He then begins to explain what a submissive is, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't done an ounce of work this entire film.
I don't think he's ever worked.
He's a billion. He needs to work.
That's what I was thinking. He's 27, so even though he's very rich, he's definitely like up and coming. Like, he might have very much wealth, but I'm sure he has to be. He can't be. This seems like his only job. Just getting this contract signed.
I think people seem to get confused that it's like, well, when I'm rich or a billionaire, I'm going to have so much time to relax. If you get to a point of wealth where all you do is work. Yeah. Right? Like, your wealth doesn't end up meaning anything. No. Because you've got to fucking work so hard now.
And like, sure, you could just stop, but then everything you've done would be just like, I'm sure, he can't be retired. Like, he's 27. He must be up and coming.
Yeah.
So he must be working so much.
He explains that if she's the submissive, that they won't do any dinner or any movies.
Yeah, bad.
Together. So that's not great. To which she's like, you know what? I'm going to go home. And he's like, well, we could take the helicopter. I'm just going to drive you. So they choose to drive.
Well, Driver does. Oh, no, sorry. What's his name? Taylor chose to drive. No, did she drive her?
No, Christian drives.
Powerful.
So, and I would like to contextualize this because she's now seen his room.
Yeah.
Hasn't signed a contract.
Yeah.
And at this point in time is like, I don't want to be your submissive. On the drive there, he pulls over while she's asleep to a forest and gently wakes her up. If I was connecting those dots, I'd say he's going to kill her
100%. He also buys duct tape, zip ties.
It's probably all still in the boot.
Oh, yeah.
He basically brushes it and is like, should we go for a walk? And flat out be like, no.
She's well read. She knows this thing is not a good sign. This one scene which gets brought up, and it doesn't get brought up again in this movie. I'm hoping in the sequels it does, because they're chatting and she's like, so why are you like this? And he, so blasé, says, well, my mum's friend had me as a child sex slave when I was 15. And they keep walking and they don't go into it.
So from the age of 15 to 21, he was her submissive.
Yes. They just don't go into that.
Yeah. But and from what I recall of seeing the second movie, back when in theaters when it came out, they don't condone it as wrong at all.
Because that's proper child.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
And it's clearly fucked him up.
Yeah.
So
they just don't go over it. She doesn't really heave into it. They don't really ponder on it.
Do people think that's hot? Like, is that why it's in the book? Is that
it? But that's just an excuse for that. This is why the way he is.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty messed up. I was like,
I don't like it.
No.
I'm not a fan. I also think, is this the lake from After?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one lake that's in LA. They go, got it.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your film about? Well, it's about these two...
It's about an abusive man.
Done.
Done. Go to the lake.
Tax write-off, have it.
So, let's go to the contract.
Yes.
It controls her diet.
Yeah.
She must be positive about orders. She's not allowed to touch him unless he says so.
Yeah.
She gets told to Google the word submissive. You have to say the word yellow if you're close and red if it's stop.
Yep.
If she's gagged, what does she say?
I'm not sure. What is that?
Oh, nothing. That's a genuine question. The
right,
only things that can stop is if she says red. However, they go on about how much she's going to be gagged through the contract. So now she can't say red. I also have an issue with the word red because a stop word or whatever it is should be a word that can't come into conversation at all. However,
Are you ready? It's there.
It's called the Red Room.
Yeah. You gonna fuck me in the red room? Well, we'll stop. No, I respect you.
No, don't go by that red light.
Wow, Christian, you're a red flag. All right, I'll stop. Did the horniest lawyer write this?
Yeah, the contract was stuck together.
She peeled it open. Anal beads.
Oh, no.
Flogging. Oh god, and she's kind of like on the fence about this, and then he brings up, hey, you're the only woman I brought onto my helicopter, and she's like, I'll come back and sign it.
He's like, you want to know how special you are to me? I've never slept in a bed with a woman my entire life. Bullshit.
Insanity. Well, at 15 it seemed you were. Oh, it's just a bit upsetting.
Again, once I've come, you can't get me up. I'm asleep straight away. I'm the laziest fuck that there is. I'm done. 2 minutes and I'm out.
Most of these sex scenes are 2 minutes, so that, you know, you're a Christian.
It was enough for me.
I was taught the whole time.
I was taught, keep it simple, stupid, okay? You gotta get in and you gotta get out. You got any thoughts on this contract scene? Why is it lit so red?
It's so red. It's so tasteful. Because they're like, let's have a business meeting. Because she's like having a bit of a cheeky.
They sit too far away from each other.
Too far away. I do love the cliche. I do want to be very rich and have a table that is so far away that I can't talk to the person. That is just a funny bit.
It is. It's a great bit. Oh, I love it. It also resembles just the end of a marriage.
Oh, yeah. If I'm going to be in this marriage, I want it to be symbolic.
So they're having it, they get their sushi and their wine. It's nice looking sushi. She doesn't eat the sushi. I took offense to it.
I took offense to it.
People spend time doing that. He then gives her a free car.
Yeah.
He's like, here are the keys, to which she says, Christian, that's a car.
Those are keys.
You'd think in that moment, he would be holding the keys and he would think back and be like, she's fallen down a lot.
She's with me.
I've made a mistake.
Oh no.
It's like in Arrested Development when Michael doesn't realize that Charlize Theron
is mentally...
Is mentally like... That's what it feels like the moment should be. Christian, that's a car! Oh
no.
She then gets spanked for rolling her eyes. They moved to Seattle. I don't know why the roommate goes. They're packing up and I'm like, oh, so she must be moving to Seattle.
So let's talk about the much better story in this film. Kate is now dating, the roommate is now dating Christian's brother. They seem happy, friendly, well-adjusted, a good pairing. It's upsetting when you have a romantic movie which has an infinitely much more stable relationship that I'm more invested in.
Bizarre. Another issue I have with the movie is Dakota Johnson constantly has to be nude.
Yeah.
Like full nude.
Yeah.
He gets to keep his pants on basically every sex scene.
Oh, I agree with you. I'll have a quick point. This is the worst part of the film. He never pulls his pants down the whole way. No. His pants, he's going for like a piss.
Yeah.
He like pulls his
pretty
pants
much
down.
There's a part where he gets his shaft out a little bit, and it's like, oh, he's definitely going to pee.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. I think in his contract, he said he doesn't want to get his cock out. And they were...
Well, don't fucking... It's a smutty film. why hire somebody that is refused that does nudity? And I'm
Because there
pretty
was
sure.
so many people wanted this job.
Yeah.
So many people wanted this job. I guess because it would be a good bit of money.
I just think it's really sexist.
Yeah.
To be honest, that it's like because I think she was really upset by the amount of nudity
she
had to do and he didn't.
Yeah.
So then when the contracts were renegotiated, neither of them really have to do nudity for the next 2 films.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I think a lot of people in the book that read the book and were fans of the book were pretty pissed off. It's like, because it's a female written story and there's a lot more cock in it.
Yeah, so the emphasis would probably be on the guy in the book. So
yeah, it is shitty.
Yeah.
Maybe he just didn't. I don't know why. It makes sense. We can't force him to put his dick out, but I don't know why they didn't push more for this. Unless, of course, I guess if you show a dick, that's like a flat R rating.
Simpsons Movie did it.
They did do it actually, and that has an M.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some movies with a cock.
Oh, Gone Girl has one.
Yeah, Gone Girl has cock.
Yeah.
Scary movie films have a cock. Yeah, those movies have cock.
Yeah, nice. It does.
I think Michael Fassbender's was so large that's why his movie had to be up another rating to NC-17.
Which movie was that? The Snowman?
Shame.
No.
the Snowman.
Got snow fucking the snow.
There's only one way to get through this snow. Pee on it and just fucking.
Oh. So what we're saying is a coward for not getting his cock out.
Sorry?
Where he's a coward for not getting his cock out.
Yeah, he's a coward. We got a little bit of shaft. I did read that a lot of the pubic hair is CGI.
What?
Yeah, so his chest hair, her pubic hair, and his pubic hair are CGI.
Man, that's a job, isn't it?
Yeah, well, apparently it just covered up the parts more, so it
Looks better.
I guess so. So they go on the flying plane that I have so many issues with because I don't really know what it is or what the point of it is.
I don't know. I think a plane takes you up with a gliding plane attached to it, and then the plane gets released and you're just like gliding. So there's no engine in it. But I think it can fly for quite a long time. But I don't know. I think maybe you don't need a license for it, maybe?
Does it get picked back up again? Like, how does it land?
I think you land it. Or on the... I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just like a paper airplane, essentially. I don't know how you land it. I don't know how they...
Begins to rain.
Oh,
no!
Oh,
it fades away from them.
God, what else happens? There's nothing.
There's not. There is a part that I adore, which is, I think, the screenwriter, or maybe it's in the book, trying to explain why the movie's even called 50 Shades of Grey.
Go on, then.
She's basically like, hey, I love you, there's nothing wrong with you. And he's like, I'm 50 shades of fucked up.
But he's like hands down, like on a desk, head down. He's like, I'm 50 shades of fucked up.
It's the equivalent of him looking up and going, what are we? Some type of Suicide Squad?
Man, this is really a Star War, huh? It's just bad. I don't know why.
Rams.
You guys seen Rams? Carl's seen Rams. How many times have you seen Rams, Carl?
Oh, yeah, twice. But I've never finished it, I don't think. Constantly get called away.
If you know the ending of Rams, email us through.
Oh, please let me know. I'm not watching it a third time. I bet it's just not an entertaining end to every single fucking time I've gotten a call. Hey, on my day off, what movie can I watch during this quarantine? Oh yeah, that's right. Only Rams is in Australian cinemas. I guess I'll try to watch Rams again. Fuck me. Ugh. Anyway, she basically is like, I want the worst. After he's like, I'm 50 Shades of fucked up.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing is like contextualizing that he gets to express himself through the sex acts.
Yes.
Right? So she's like, fine, let's do it.
Yeah.
He does it.
It is the tamest shit I've ever seen. He spanks her 6 times, and it's consensual. She's like, I'm done. I'm out. goes...
I assume it's probably much worse in the... Or is it really vigorously hard? Like, could she have been bleeding?
Maybe, yeah, but like in the movie, it doesn't look like
No,
that. So
no,
it looks like the exact same as the other ones.
And I think this is where our two movies diverge.
Yes. Oh, okay.
So what happens for you for the end of this film?
Okay, so she's crying.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
She runs to the elevator. She goes, goodbye, Christian. She goes, goodbye, Anna. And the elevator's closed. And that's the climax. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right. Film. So that's what I remembered it being, because I remember being like, what an abrupt ending.
Yeah, very abrupt. I was like, oh, what? Why? Just, okay.
So my movie continues for 7 more minutes.
Oh, this is your extent.
Yeah,
okay.
so she cries.
Yeah.
Goes to her room.
Mm-hmm.
Christian tries to comfort her.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, get out. She's left alone for the night. In the morning, she gets up, returns the books, returns the laptop, returns the car, and is like, I want my old car back. He's like, I've already sold it. And he's like, but I'll put a check into your account. And she's like, and then they do the goodbye Christian, goodbye Anastasia thing. Then she hops in a car. She cries in the car. They have memories about how romantic their time was together. Christian Grey's sitting in a conference room. He can't get his mind off Anastasia, and he gets up and leaves. And that's the ending.
Was that worth the extra 7 minutes of your life, Carl?
I think the way that this movie's tried to shape itself is, and maybe it's in the book, I don't know, but from the movie, and I don't think it's done well enough, but what I gather they're trying to do is, from the ending, is they're trying to show that she has made him a submissive.
Yeah.
Right? I think the longer ending just explains that more. That he is now, like, in peril to her.
Yes.
So, whereas I think the abrupt ending...
In my one, it's a bit...
Like, they look at each other, and you can tell he's upset about the Anastasia, but she's the one that does the... Like, so it closes.
Yeah.
It's very messy. I don't like either ending. And that's 50 Shades of Grey.
And I think, and just because I think luckily we're doing all 3 of these. This first one, I think, is most competently made from what I've read. And I think as a result, it's quite
If boring. I recall, it's much better edited than the next one.
Nice. Goodness.
Like, in terms of the actual editing, not in terms of its length.
Yeah.
It could have been edited down.
I'm pretty keen. But yeah, stock standard, this is a pretty strange PG porno thing.
Yeah.
That's mainly plot. And that's about it, really.
So...
I feel bad for the actors and everyone involved, really, because it seems like they've got... And also, I feel a bit sorry for the author, in terms more just like her as like a writer. I feel like I watched some interviews of her. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for the press like circuit she went through. She was just like... They were just like, so you wrote this horny book, but you're kind of gross. And she's like... Yeah, thanks. I don't know, I just really wanted to write this. Like, it's sold more than the Bible. Like, how do you explain that? She's like... I just don't know. She seems so... I felt pretty bad.
I do like she explains that she used to write it on a bus.
Yeah.
On her phone.
On Wattpad.
So, good for her.
Yeah.
For context for next movie, this director doesn't come back.
No.
Another director comes on board. I think she gets the last writer fired and replaces the writer with her husband.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
So that's where we're at.
Okay.
For the next one.
So this one was pretty competently made. It's just a very awful...
Script, dialogue, plot. I get why you make it, because it made a shit ton of money.
Shit ton of money, yeah.
But also... Yeah. I did read that originally this was offered to Angelina Jolie. I wonder what that movie would have looked like.
As a director, yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. So many actors and actresses got offered the role.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were tempted.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, I guess. It's like a 3...
Well, you know it's going to be big. It's 3 movies over $1 billion made.
Yeah.
So... And, like, these people got hefty paydays.
Yeah.
Because really, if you look at them, the two of... Dakota Johnson's done much more than Jamie Dorman.
Yeah.
But, like, he's living comfortably off of 3 films.
Yeah.
So... And he didn't even have to get his cock out.
No.
So...
Cowardly.
Alright then, Oscar. Who would watch 50 Shades of Grey?
Now watching the film, I don't know. It's a strange one because it's not really for the people that like the books. It's very plot heavy and a bad plot. Genuinely, I know who, it's like people, everyone went to the film as a bit of a joke, right? That was the target audience. Who's watching it now, though? Who are the weirdos like us who are watching this film? Do you think people are revisiting this film?
Oh, surely not. I did like one of the reviews that I saw for this when it came out that I always thought was quite funny was it's a good date night movie. You both go, have some drinks, make fun of it, go home and try some of the stuff in the film.
There you go. We watch this. Curious couples.
Yeah. Oh my god. I think if you love a good soundtrack.
Oh, let's talk.
The soundtrack's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a great soundtrack.
They got Beyonce, they got Sia. Did the next couple did they go worse?
I think the third one, which I haven't seen, has a great cover of In Excess's what is it? What's that? No. How's it go? Doesn't matter. But I mean, they all try. The next one had that giant Zayn and Taylor Swift
yeah,
song.
it did, yeah.
And the last one has Rita Ora and Liam Payne. So, they try and get there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, because I don't think it's if you like the books. I think if you love seeing a lavish lifestyle, maybe if you do, some, the fantasy of ending up with somebody filthily fucking rich and they're damaged.
Yeah.
And you are the one that gets to fix them.
Yeah.
I get that that's probably a fantasy for some people. This is probably for you.
I think if you watch Wolf of Wall Street and you didn't get he was a bad person, but you also didn't really get the film as a total, but you just kind of wanted to be rich, but you don't do stocks, this is the film for you. Because I don't know how he makes his money, and you can pretend that you can do the same.
If you want to look into the culture of Seattle, this is what I imagine it is.
This is the second best piece of media that explores it after Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. I have a feeling the third Home Alone starts in Seattle.
So that's the third highest Seattle-based content.
Could be one. Home Alone 3, Grey's Anatomy, this.
50 Shades.
Yeah.
Tight.
That's where we're at. Oscar, have you got a palate cleanser this week?
Yeah, Carl, I do. I watched the 2013 film The Dirties. Have you heard of this film before?
No, I have not.
This was by Matt Johnson. He's done the show called Nirvana the Band, The Show, which is quite similar to Nathan For You, but kind of like a sitcom, but they involve real life people into the sitcom and the narrative. It's very clever.
Oh, okay.
So
What's that one called?
Nirvana the Band, The Show. They're
cool.
a band called Nirvana the Band, The Show. They've never made any music and they're trying to get a gig.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of insane the things they do. There's this one episode where they try and steal a kid's Make-A-Wish Foundation wish. So he's really good. And I checked out his first film, The Dirties. It's a sort of a comedy mockumentary about these two kids. Sort of, one's planning the school shooting, one's kind of thing as a joke.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It was made for 10 grand. And it just ends like such a dark ending in a comedy that I didn't think would have it. And it works. And I was just so surprised that you can do this for 10 grand. It's insane.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, and I think it's really funny. There's some really funny scenes. The Nirvana Band, The Show, again, is a comedy. But I think they balance those funny scenes and some really nice scenes with this ending, which is just harrowing.
Is it a bit like a cult classic? Is that how you found out about it, or how'd you stumble onto this?
So
I've never heard of it.
I saw Nirvana Band, The Show after recommendations. And I'd seen he directed 2 films for under 50 grand. And I was sort of just going through also I was looking for a mockumentary. I'm constantly looking for comedy mockumentaries. I can't really find that many.
Yeah.
So this one popped up, put it on, and just I was like, oh, cool, these two things came together. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, just absolutely fantastic.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I will give that a watch.
Big high recommend.
And usually I never fucking watch what you recommend me.
How dare you? I recommended you that one film, which is a cult classic that a lot of people hate, but then some people like. The Pussycat Dolls. That's the one. Carl, what was your palate cleanser?
So I'm actually, and this fits into, the Dirties fits into this category, so I'm all about this, is it gets to about 10:30, and I go, I'm going to watch a great film that's under 90 minutes.
Nice.
And I will just look up great films under 90 minutes and fucking watch one if I haven't seen it.
Nice.
And last night I watched, after having to cram through some terrible films, I watched Stanley Kubrick's debut film, The Killing.
Oh, nice.
Which is available on Stan.
He tried to bury that one, didn't he?
It's terrific.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's so good and so clever. It's 80 minutes. It's incredibly tight. It's just 40 minutes of like a heist coming together, and then the last 40 minutes is the heist being executed and everything going horribly wrong. And it's so good. Considering it's made in 1957, I think.
Yeah.
Terrific. All about it.
Nice.
So, like, a big recommendation on that one. I thought it was terrific. And it just flies by.
Yeah,
And it has good little twists. It's, it's very linear. And you can tell where I think a lot of modern heist movies have, like,
just
ripped
take
from
it from
this.
him.
There's a part where they don't tell you a little piece of information. And then they go back and tell you to it with, like, hyped up music. And I'm like, that's literally every heist movie has copied that trope.
Yeah.
So,
God,
yeah.
it's good. Oh, okay, cool. So some of these old ones I'm a bit like turned off by, but
yeah, like
glad
I
his
think
first one's already a smash.
Well, The Killing I think has like a 4 on Letterboxd, so that's why I was like, well, it must be good.
Yeah.
And it has an 8 on IMDb from 80,000 reviews,
Oh,
so
fair
it's
enough.
celebrated.
Well, that definitely is first. I've heard
I think so.
I heard his first one he didn't want to show because it wasn't great, but that one sounds pretty good.
Could be wrong.
No, I think it's like he declares it as his first film,
Yeah.
but I think he did one before that.
You're right. The Killing he declares as his first film. There is another film before that,
Yes.
which has a 6.6.
I think I've seen bits of that. Apparently the cinematography is quite nice, but it's just a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it's all very, very good. Oh, he's a bloody... God love him.
Yeah, he's just good. Just
Yeah,
brilliant.
except for his Lolita, piece of shit.
How dare you? I stopped watching it. But like, is it bad? Is it a bad film? Because it's an interesting book.
Yeah, I thought the book was quite interesting. Very boring film, in my opinion.
Oh,
and just make some creative decisions different to the book that I just don't think work out.
Fair.
Don't bother. All right, so you can join us next week.
When we'll be reviewing 50 Shades of
Darker. 50 Shades Darker or 50 Shades of Darker?
No, 50 Shades Darker.
Right. The titles make no sense.
They don't make any sense. I think it's just the books.
Yeah.
Pictures that made them...
Like, I kind of get 50 Shades of Grey in terms of the fact that it's like, oh, he's got lots of...
Nuances?
Not nuances, but it's like, look, he's hot and then he's cold, he's yes and then he's no, he's in and then he's out, he's up and then he's down.
Yeah. But then darker.
Yeah. Doesn't pay off though, and it makes it stupid with that dumb fucking line.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly, where does this rank? This is probably one of my least favorites we've watched.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's... Again, I felt like some 90-minute ones have been longer, but I did pause this quite a bit. It's a shame because it's nothing... There's nothing here. Like, it's such a shit concept, but made by such competent people. So it just turns out to be the most bland nothing thing ever. The little bits of hope. Honestly, I'm over the moon that they fired this director and she's gone taken full control. Because I think what I've heard is that the next two get fucking bombastic.
Yeah, the other thing is it's like, I think this director knew to be like, he's lavish and he's rich. Let's emphasize that. These next two, the next one, I haven't seen the third one. The next one feels so small and like they're so poor that I'm like, you just don't know how to make his life feel kind of large, you know? So yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I don't listen. It's a like. It's competently made, but I would never rewatch this.
Yeah. We've also taken a break. So how was your year?
My year was good. My what did we have? We had a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
How did it feel coming back? Because I hated it.
The watching of the films was painful.
Yeah.
I got my clipboard, do the notes, went, whew.
This is nice.
That's
I've
right.
missed this.
I missed this.
Yeah.
I missed this. The actual writing down was like, I forgot that like we watch bad films. I'm like, this is not enjoyable.
I contemplated midway through this going, how do I break it to Oscar? I don't want to do it anymore. But now that we've recorded, I'm like, I do like this.
I do like
so
this.
it's fine.
It's
it works out
fine.
in the end. All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Alright guys, thank you for listening. Tell your friends about us. Maybe one day we'll read out your weather. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube.
And if you have a film you'd like us to review or questions you'd like to ask, email us at askwwwtpodcast@gmail.com.
You can leave us 5 stars on iTunes or any sort of praise anywhere. It helps new listeners find us and our egos grow.
Alternatively, don't do anything and see if we care.
Yep, ball's in your court.
Thanks for listening.
See you next week.